Hi, it's me, the Triple I Writer, and today I'm going to tell you one of my stories from my website. It's called The Quest. But first, I have to say, this story has nothing to do with Subnautica. I merely borrowed some of its footage because I like the video game very much. Once upon a time, Gondor was conquered by the evil Dark Lord of Technology. Although he came alone, he has the power to spawn countless goblins, also known as his Stalkers, and soldiers of Gondor were completely outnumbered. During his rule, most of the civilians of Gondor were sent to the guillotine and were beheaded in order to become Teletubbies. Their heads were replaced by a 14.8-inch silicon screen. This was to facilitate the process of downloading and distributing the supreme gospel of evil and other contents such as dark arts and black magic to converted beings of Dark Lord of Technology. They share some of the Dark Lord's power of summoning their own Stalkers, but they could only communicate with one another through Instagram. Since they had lost their facial expressions, they could only use emoticons for emotional expressions. In other words, Gondor had turned into a world of silence and gloom. Only a few of the inhabitants managed to escape the terrible fate of Gondor. The Prince of Gondor happened to be one of them. They embarked on a quest to find a legendary tablet which could only be found within the submerged city called Atlantis, far, far away. A city that was built by the precursors, super intelligent beings from an ancient past. Thus, they went on board the Aurora, a submarine that was fabricated based on the technology of the Dark Lord to venture to the mystical world, a world that the Dark Lord of Technology had not yet touched. It was said that the legendary tablet held the virus that could destroy the wicked Dark Lord of Technology. But one should take note that there was a floating island above the Atlantis that was inhabited by the Sirens, winged feminine immortal humanoid creatures that were capable of singing beautiful songs that attracted the hearts of men and later on devoured their souls. They had extreme difficulty locating Atlantis. The map of the mystical world in their hands was after all very poorly drawn. Many a times were they followed by man-eating seahorses with jaws that can bite through steel. Approached by the warpers, sorcerers from the other world who can teleport people into the abyss. And also along the way, the prince and his crew were being followed by Teletubbies sent by the Dark Lord. They managed to fight them off and later on discovered a traitor in their midst holding a GPS device, so they pushed him off the plank to become shark food. One day they encountered a giant monster called leviathan that ripped their entire ship apart. Fortunately for them, there was an island close by filled with resources for fabricating the essential materials for reconstruction. Then the Prince of Gondor heard beautiful voices from afar. The island turned out to be the land of the Sirens. He went to search his earplugs, but it was too late. The voices of the Sirens were so addictively beautiful that the prince as well as all his men who had heard it were bewitched, and they followed the voices like a flock of gullible lambs to a slaughterhouse. The Sirens had bound them all up from head to toe and were waiting for their leader to give further instructions before the feast began. The leader of the Sirens, also known as the undead Queen of Soprano, finally came. She found the prince to be extremely attractive and decided to keep him alive for a few days, feeding him with exotic fruits and pouring him with lavish gifts. Little did the Sirens know that there was a dwarf, being a member of the crew, who was actually deaf and therefore immune to the Sirens' enchantment. The dwarves recovered the traitor's GPS tracking device and activated it as a plan to save everyone. Soon enough, warships carrying the Teletubbies had arrived. They all gave the island their Stalkers. The Sirens were distracted, and they, led by Queen Soprano, flew away from their resting place to confront their enemies. It was a fierce battle, and then the undead queen released her ultimate power, the Universal Serenade, and she successfully shattered all 14.8-inch silicon screens, and many souls were finally free from the evil grasp of the Dark Lord of Technology. And the Stalkers also vanished into thin air. When Queen Soprano as well as the Sirens returned from battle, they found that their captives had gone. The prince finally came to his senses the moment the Sirens had gone for battle, found the secret tunnel to the Atlantis, and successfully retrieved the legendary tablet from one of the precursors' facilities. With the legendary tablet finally in their possession, the Prince of Gondor and his crew set forth to defeat the Dark Lord of Technology and reclaim their homeland. Before I end this video, if you believe that reading and writing is not an activity that should be done alone, please sign up for my website and let's enjoy writing together.